Hi guys, how's it going? It's been a while, isn't it? It's Chris Graham here for We Love Betting, looking ahead to the new Polish football season, which begins this weekend, and I've done a lot of research, picking out some Ante-Post value for you on We Love Betting. So let's kick it off. There's lots to get through, so I'm going to just bang through this, because if I take my time, it'll be a 15-minute video, and no one wants to watch that. So let's kick on. Look at the title race very quickly. Legia 64, Lech Poznan 13-5, Slums routes will have 10-1. The odds suggest it'll be a head-to-head in this particular market. I agree completely. I think it's just a two-horse race here. 6-4 Legia, 13-5 Lech. Who do I think will win the league? I think it'll be Legia. Who's the value? Lech, definitely 13-5. They've brought in Barry Douglas from Dundee United, his first Scot, I think, ever to play an extra class. I'm massively proud. Simon Pavlovski's been brought in from Zagłębie, great player. Zagłębie's best player, one of the best players in extra class. That's a very smart signing. And they've got these young players who hopefully will develop this year. The likes of Łukasz Teodosic, who struggled since he signed at the turn of the year from Polonia. Karol Linetti, who looks a good prospect, and Kasper Hamalainen, not a young player, but a player who could have a real, make a real fingerprint in this particular campaign, that's for sure. He's been a revelation since he signed from Djurgården, and I think he could have a great season. So Lech, for me, the value at 13-5, I would say, definitely. Unibet put up loads of great market specials on this, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. They put up markets who will finish higher in the league between two teams, match betting if you like. Two I'm going to pick out very quickly. One is Zagłębie to finish above Lechia Dansk. That's 1.75. It's not a great price, but I think it's a value price. Zagłębie, right? They've lost their best player in Pawlowski. They've brought in Alexander Kwiatek from Gornik. They've brought in Łukasz Piatek from Polonia. They finished 7th last season in real terms. They had a 2.3 point deduction, but 7th overall, despite a dreadful end to the season. They finished 2 points ahead of Lechia Dansk. And Zagłębie, for me, have got a lot more potential. Lechia Dansk fell apart at the seams last year. Great first half of the season, awful second half of the season. They lost their best player, their talisman, Abdur Razak Traore, and they never really come back from that. Ricardinho, another one of their good players, has left in the summer. I think they're in for a season of struggle, and I think Zagłębie can definitely finish above them this year. 1.75 to me is too big a price, so I would get with that, definitely. I'd also, just very quickly, Rook Hortsov to finish above Corona at 2.15. Rook have a tendency to have a terrible season than a great season. They had a terrible season last year, so I think they get a much more improved season this year. And Corona have lost their best player, Magic Korshun, to a long-term injury. I don't know when he's coming back, but that's seriously going to affect their campaign. So I think Rook at 2.15 definitely. But best bets though are in the relegation market. So let's take a breather here and look at these a bit more in detail. Gornik, for me, to be relegated at 14-1 is a very good price. They lost their best player, Arek Milik, over the Christmas period. He went to the Bundesliga, and they never really got back for that. They lost 10 of their 15 games in the spring round this year. Really struggled. They've lost Alexander Kwiatek to Zagłębie, and they were relegated 5 years ago. So they have history when it comes to relegation. They were one of the best sides in the league last year in the first half, but like I say, second half it all fell apart. And I think 14-1 for a team who were one of the poorest sides in the second half of last season is just too big. So I've backed that. I've also backed my favourite bet overall, and the final bet I'm going to mention in this Ante-Post video, Piast to get relegated at 14-1. I can't believe that price. They had a fantastic season last year. I ain't saying anything against that. They finished 4th. Amazing achievement for a side who got promoted. A promoted side. Absolutely incredible achievement. But second season syndrome, that must be a factor. We see it in England, don't we? I'll have more details later, but this is a PR side who've never ever stayed up 2 years in a row in extra class, never in the history. That's something they have to achieve this year. I think it's just a massive overreaction to last season. I had them at 5-1 to get relegated. 14-1 is just too big. I think teams will work them out this year. We've seen it, like I say, we've seen it in England with second season syndrome. Reading, Hull, Birmingham, QPR in recent years. And I looked at the same scenario in Poland, and there's There's few clubs who got relegated in this in their second season back in the league. Pretty much every single one of them in the last 5 years has saw their form depreciate badly. Here we go: Pobeskidze, Gornik, Vidsev Łódź, Zagłębie, Corona, Śląsk, Arka Gdynia, Polonia, all saw their form, their finishing position a lot lower in their second season back in Ekstraklasa than their first. I think it's 9 of the last 10 sides to stay up saw a drop off the following season. 9 of the last 10. And let me talk about Piast, who are part of this. Piast actually got relegated. They were one of the sides where second season syndrome definitely kicked in the last time they were in Ekstraklasa. They were promoted to Ekstraklasa in 07-08. They finished 10th in 08-09, and in 09-10 they finished bottom of the table. They've got history in this, and I think it's at 14-1. It's definitely worth a couple of quid of your money. I've got a tenner on it. I think it's a great bet. Their manager, whose stock is very, very high at the moment, Marcin Brosz, he might get snapped up, you'd imagine, by a bigger club. And I'm just checking Wikipedia this morning. I don't know if it's true. This is the problem I have trying to find out information during this part of the year about Polish football. But Wikipedia is suggesting that one of their best, for me, their best player, Ruben Gerardo, is going to Anorthosis in Cyprus. If that's the case, it's a huge blow to the club. And I think it's another reason to pile in at 14-1. Piast to get relegated. I'll put that in my Ante-Post list along with Gornik to get relegated at 14-1. Ruk to finish above Corona at 2.15. Zagłębie to finish above Lechia Gdańsk at 1.75. And like Poznan, the value bet to win the championship this year at odds of 13-5. Good day, people.